Draymmond, it's like after that second quarter sequence with the backcourt violation, technical foul, personal foul, that you really picked up your play at both ends. Is that a fair assessment to make?
Yeah, it was fair. I got really upset. It clearly wasn't a backcourt, and then I got a text for saying that's whack. So, yeah, I was pissed off. So, but thanks. Helped me play a lot better. Appreciate it.
Draymmond, you played, I think, almost 40 or 40 minutes. Steph played 40. I think Wiggins 40, Clay close to 40. Was this the game where you guys were really, was this the circle game, like where you got to win this one?
It's just a feel that you have in these series coming off a win like we had last game. If you can come in and play good basketball and you can essentially put a team away tonight. Now, this team isn't going to quit. They're led by a Hall of Fame coach. Hall of Fame player, but he's a Hall of Fame. And a future Hall of Fame player in Luka Doncic. So they won't quit. But you can instill a lot of doubt with coming out and win this game. And we knew that. And so we came out with a certain intensity level and focus level that, it would take to come on the road and still win. And, we did that tonight. Now the mindset changes to, coming out and taking care of our business this next game. But we kind of wanted to go all in on this one for sure because we felt like it was a game that if we come out and play our game, we should win.
What have you seen what did you see from Andrew tonight?
It's the same thing been seeing all playoffs, taking on the challenge of guarding guys and, he took on a challenge, been taking on this challenge for the last 3 games in this series and guarding Luka. And then on the offensive end, he's been aggressive. He's attacking the rim. He's knocking the shot down. He's coming up with extra possessions on the offensive boards. So he's just been aggressive all around all playoffs. And it's been great to see, and it's obviously been huge for our team.
Talked about how much you love playoff basketball. It takes your game to a whole other level. Have you seen the same thing with Andrew, just thriving in this kind of intense environment that is the postseason?
100%. That's a guy who's been criticized for being lackadaisical, and the beat goes on. We've heard it all, and yet, on the biggest stage, he's come through. I've always said no one talks about teams that guys are on or organizations that guys are in. No one ever talks about that. It's always the player fault. And, he's showing that I'm not far off when I say that. So, it's great to see. Absolutely amazing to see him pick up his level of play. He was like this at the beginning of the season, which is why he became an All-Star, and then he kind of hit a little lull there after All-Star, which is normal, especially after your first All-Star game. Then he's picked it back up, and it's been absolutely amazing for us as a team and for him as a player.
Draymmond, you've played a lot of playoff games with Steph Curry. Do you notice anything different about the way he's playing now compared to early on?
He's been extremely, extremely aggressive. And that's what we need. I think he's always been aggressive. I don't really see any difference other than maturity. You know what to expect now. How to win. All of these things. And so I think the biggest thing I see is maturity and just being ready and knowing what it takes in these situations.
You thought of the defensive game plan in this series?
Ours?
Yeah, yours.
I think it's been incredible. I think, in making Luka work, we don't want to just fall into switches. That's what they want. And so I think our coaching staff did an incredible job, as they always do. I told y'all before, I've never gone into a playoff game feeling like I wasn't prepared or another team was better prepared than us. And our coaching staff continues to do an amazing job. And then equally as important, guys are following the game plan. Obviously, we've had some breakdowns here and there, and that's going to happen. But guys are following the game plan and sticking to it, and that's why we're in the position we're in up 3-0 with a chance to close out come Tuesday.
How difficult, you guys, I guess first question on this, do you feel like this is the most you guys have ever switched defenses with it? It seems like possession to possession is something different at times.
I think so. We've went through that some during the season and practiced it. But it's been really on the fly in these playoffs, and got to give credit to Mike Brown on that. I think when you're playing against a guy like Luka, you just never really want to give him a steady diet of anything. You can pick what you think is the absolute best coverage against a guy, and if you keep doing that and say it works and it works and it works, if you keep doing that, a guy like that, he's going to figure it out. And so you want to try to keep them off balance, and I think we've done a pretty good job of it.
How challenging is that though, from a player perspective, to keep looking over the sideline, keep figuring out what you're in? And
we try to designate a guy or two to kind of look over at Mike on the way back every time because he's changing the calls. And so, like I said, it's something that we've practiced all year where he'll come to myself, he'll come to Otto, he'll come to Andre when Andre was playing and say, hey, you got to look at me because I'm changing the defenses. And so, it's kind of like a defensive coordinator sending a signal to a middle linebacker and they're sending the signal on to the guys. So it's been effective for us, and it's a weapon in our arsenal.
Draymmond, with your team one win away from the NBA Finals and the Mavericks one loss away from elimination, what kind of game are you expecting on Tuesday night?
It's going to be a very hard game. No one gets to the conference finals and quits. Never happens. Up 3-0, up 3-1, whatever. No one ever quits. And so we're not expecting them to come out and quit. We're expecting them to come out and put their best foot forward. Ultimately, I think if we put our best foot forward, we give ourselves a chance to win the game. But being one win away from the finals means absolutely nothing. It just means that. You have to win one more game, and that game isn't going to be easy. So we got to make sure we come in with an even better focus level than we did tonight, and I thought it was incredible. But closeout games are always the toughest. So we got to come out and win the game. They're not going to give it to us.
Draymmond, I'm sure you've seen a lot of big poster dunks. Just your thoughts on Andrews.
Absolutely incredible. He's been attacking like that. And, that's always our battle cry to him, like, forget going to lay the ball up, go dunk. And he's been attacking like that all playoffs. He got a couple posters this playoff, and that one was on Luka, so it just means more. You can, when you get a poster on a superstar like that it just means a little bit more. So it was incredible.
And do you get a little bit of a sense of joy a little more joy when you win a challenge like that the coach's challenge?
Absolutely. But I didn't think it was a foul in the first place live. So to win a challenge and know the play stands, like we saw Anthony Edwards dunk this year and they got called off, and I thought that should have been a block as well. And or no calls, he kind of jumped over the guy. But we saw that, and you don't see that play much because it didn't count. And so it would have been a shame to see that one not count. So I'm happy they got it right.
I know you're in the middle of the competition. It's hard to think about the big picture, but when you're going on a run like you did to start the game or even to close the first half, are you thinking this is what a championship team plays like?
100%. We knew we had to come out and start this game off right and kind of seize control, not come out frantic, not come out turning the ball over, just come out and be solid. And to see that we were able to say that's what we wanted to do and actually do it, that was another step of growth for this team, because although we've been saying it, we haven't been able to do that. And to actually come out and guys be locked in from the start to the finish, I think that was a huge step in this team's growth. Everyone's different. I think this team is totally different than any championship team we've ever had. And so, honestly, it doesn't. It feels totally different. And, you appreciate each journey for what that journey brings and the challenges that it brings, but it doesn't feel the same. It feels a lot different.
Draymmond, I got to ask you about that bit of sportsmanship we saw from you today when you backed up into Luka a little bit. Everything's on the line. Every second counts, but you still found the way to kind of help him stand up. I just want to ask you about that.
I appreciate you asking me about that. Everybody think I'm a bad person. No, I think I stepped on his foot or something, which made him fall. And if I just take off running, to me, that feels cheap. I hate cheap stuff on a basketball court. And so, help him up. I made him fall, so I should help him up. And, it's sometimes it's bigger than the next play. And I got a lot of respect for Luka and a lot of love and appreciation for his game. So if I knew I influenced him falling, I think it's just the right thing to do to help him up. If he doesn't want the help, then that's another story. But I'll at least try to help him up. And, it was good.
Draymmond, before this series, there was a lot of talk about this was changing of the point guard, Luka taking over from Steph. And I'm wondering, do you think that was any motivation to Steph that, that he was maybe being written off a little bit? And also, did you see Luka's shimmy when he hit that three?
Of course, he's a competitor. I saw the shimmy, and it's to be expected. Steph was in the area. Steph shimmied on them left. Of course, you expect that. But as far as the talk before the series, I didn't even see it or notice it. I'm not sure if Steph saw it or noticed it. At this point, you don't need any more motivation than this team is standing in the way of getting back to the NBA Finals. And for a organization, for a group of guys that's been counted out and said we were done and stick a fork in them and send them to their deathbed, that's enough. That's enough motivation in itself. Now, as a competitor, if you see that, of course it's going to motivate you. If someone said, "Oh, this guy's next and it's his turn now," you're going to have something to say about that if possible. And Steph is more than capable of having something to say about it, and he's showing that. But Luke is incredible, and his time is now. His time is next. His time, that's a great player. He's going to be great for a long time. So I don't see it as any changing of guard or anything like that. They're both incredible players, and we get so caught up in this sport of trying to make one guy the person or this guy or that guy, as opposed to appreciating everyone's greatness. And I happen to be someone who appreciates individuals' greatness for themselves. I don't need to compare them and say it's him now. No, he's great and he's great, and just appreciate and watching them both, because as we know, we all got an expiration date in this league. So I just appreciate the guys for what they bring when they're bringing it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.